property tax and net property tax, and our total funds available is $66,739,081. When you deduct the encumbrances, the 21 budget, the council minimum balance, and add in what we expect to be unspent budget, our beginning net balance for the year was $6,120,963. So far this year, we have approved additional appropriations to the general fund of $1,988,335. And because of the requirement for the state to approve general fund additional appropriations, we don't ever have any additionals in December for the general fund. I don't have much to point out on my report. A couple things on the revenue report. I highlighted up here above financial institutions, licensed excise, and commercial vehicle excise tax. We get basically a proposed levy and revenues from the state. Those three, that 0124, 0130, 0131, those numbers, if you see up above in yellow, or under the 2020 budget, I have 1782, and that's the notice number. The state changed what we had budgeted. Financial institutions was up considerably for what we get. We get two installments of financial institutions, and they're basically the same. One of them is in December, and one of them is in June. So that's where there's a change, and there was a lot more financial institutions tax collected. So they did increase our, I don't remember exactly what our 22 budget was, but it wasn't anywhere close to 338,000. Excise, they lowered that, and commercial vehicle excise, that was changed a little bit, I think a little bit lower. But they approved our budget in full, and so this is, we're going to get licensed excise whatever we collect, and it's not based on what they are saying there. Like, that's all I had in the revenues. And so we're at 72.2% of our general fund collected through the end of last month. We did get our settlement approved yesterday, so those distributions will be made, so that she'll bring that up to about 100%. Into the fund balances, fund number 1,000 is the general fund, and we're just a little bit under $5 million there, and of course that's going to jump up considerably when we have the property tax settlement. So that should be a good number. The only other thing that I even marked was the health insurance fund, 4710. And that one, again, we did spend a little bit more than what we took in for the month, so we are at $8.1 million. Most of the checks that we issued for the $100 for the county employees that were vaccinated, most of those checks were included in these numbers, so that's a little bit higher. But we also did not move the $83,000 from the health insurance fund to the general fund like what we have the other months, when that $1 million that we were going to move over it. Council had said we didn't need to do that anymore. And I think that is all that I had.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Any questions for Bob about any specifics? Hearing none. Our treasurer's report. Jennifer?
Good morning.
I believe the reports were in your packets this month. For November interest, we had $66,517.05. Our balance at Staley Credit Union was at $268,000 at the end of November. We have since moved that over because of settlement being distributed soon. So that's back down to a $25 required minimum balance. Not much else to point out there. As far as the distribution between the funds, general fund, we're at $457,334 for the year to date, out of $693,000, and that puts us right at 91.5% of my revised estimate of $500,000, with being 91.7% through the year. So hopefully December comes in to be what we need to at least hit that target. The only other thing, I know we're not quite through the year, but I did put in some updates like I've done in the past, just to let you know where we landed with some things, or where we're trending this year. So for our property tax collection rates, by the time we had turned that over to Bob, we were at 96.81% collection for the fall, which is in line with past years. Our Staley Credit Union collections, we're under 2020, but again, 2020 is going to be an anomaly for that sort of thing. So still quite a bit above the 2019 numbers. And for online payments, 26.9, almost $27 million collected online, a pretty big jump even above 2020. So we were happy with that. Interest we've talked about. And then as far as P cards, trending a little bit lower on the spend. Again, 2020 being sort of an anomaly with that, with all the PPE that was purchased last year. But still receiving a rebate there. And even though we have some expenses, still in the positive for the rebate. And we're up to 63 cards issued across the county. So. Is there any questions about any of that? That's all I had to update you on.
Okay, thank
Hey,
you,
Jennifer,
Jennifer.
can I ask a quick question?
Mhm.
I think I know the answer to this, but on your percent of collections, that each of those years is at settlement time?
I believe, yeah, that's what
So
I've been
like,
tracking.
because what I assume was like the 95% of 2020 fall is basically at 100% now, because since some people are always paying late, but
Yeah.
just,
We never really hit 100 when we.
Right.
turned it over.
right. But when you're doing that then, by the time you get to the next year.
Yeah,
people
I'm
are
just
paying
trying to
that.
keep
Yes,
apples to
yes,
apples
yes,
for
yes.
when I turn it over to you. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer.
Mhm.
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you. Next up is our public comment about any of our agenda items before us this morning. If we don't have any public comment, next up is our consent agenda. Are there any items that need to be removed from that for further discussion or consideration? Or do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilman Richard to approve the consent agenda as submitted. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that is approved. Next up, we have additional appropriations, first from the public defender.
Mr. President, I move to approve the Public Defender's 2022 salary statement as presented.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Dolam, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the public defender salary statement for 2022 in the amount stated. Discussion. Hearing none.
I believe this is,
Do you want to, yeah, Amy, if you want to come forward. Yeah, push the button on the,
What we did was we eliminated 2 part-time positions, made 1 full-time. So the salary statement reflects that full-time position.
thank you very much. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that is approved. Next, we have a carry home salary statement.
Make a motion, we approve the carry home salary statement for 2022.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilman Richard to approve the 2022 salary statement for carry home. Discussion. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning. This position was created this year. It's noted on there. It was approved by the commissioners in August. I believe I was here in October with the salary statement for this current year. This is just housekeeping to make sure we have a salary statement for next year. The number was already put into the budget at budget hearing time. So that's already taken care of. So we're just asking for approval of the salary statement today.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that is approved. Thank you. Next, we have a salary statement for the coroner.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2022 salary statement for the coroner as presented.
I second that.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray to approve the coroner salary statement for 2022 as stated. Discussion.
This is just very similar to their $125 per case that they receive. This is just the 25 for their call, and this has been occurring. This is just something we needed to get in for 2022.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that is approved. Next, we have our new business going on. Oh, do we have any committee reports before we do that? All right. New business are assignments for 2022. Anybody want to jockey for positions for different spots? I'm not hearing anything, Bob. What's the pleasure of the council? Want to approve it as is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to do so?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2022 county council member assignments as presented.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilman Richard to approve the 2022 council assignments as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Do you want to talk about dates for meetings? Yeah. You looking at any of the other assignments that we have as far as appointments, Bob? Did we have any that are coming up?
There is one, I remember talking to Kathy about this, the Convention Visitors Bureau.
Okay,
That one expires at the end of this year. And then there's some of them that are, of course, the annual ones that are,
that always turn
Yeah.
over.
yeah.
Okay,
And we can either wait or you want to ready to pull the trigger?
are those,
That's an annual.
are those,
so-
those are annual?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind, Tom, that'd be great. Any others that, Lisa on the redevelopment commission, are you okay to be reassigned on that one? Any others that we,
And my term on visitors would expire at the end of this year, and I'm willing to serve again.
okay. I didn't see that one, Kathy, when we were
12/21.
scrolling through.
Yeah.
Okay. If everybody's okay to re-up on their annual ones, and do we need to then reach out to the one on the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Bob? Who has the contact on that? Oh, 20. Oh, yes, 22. Yes, you're the one that expires. Okay. Yeah, I was looking down one line. Okay. So if you're okay and Lisa is okay, is Lisa's 21 or 22? 22, okay. And I was getting ahead of myself.
Now you've got like Ann Painter on Council on Aging.
Mhm,
I don't know if we need to reach out to her
okay,
or Vicky Pearl.
okay.
Those I think are the only outside people who are annuals that.
Okay. So do we need then to probably hold on those until after the first of the year, then based upon a couple of contacts that we need to make? Yeah, okay. All right. Dates for next year.
And I don't think we don't have anything unusual calendar-wise that's going to force anything to be any different than the second Tuesday. And my assumption is that you still want the meetings to start at 8:30.
That's still okay for council? Okay, yep. So with that being the case.
And then
that
we
would
have
be-
the budget hearings. I think I do have them back a week later. I was thinking it started on Monday, but that says Tuesday. August 29th is, for some reason, I was thinking we were moving that to a Monday. But,
Is there,
It is Monday, it's 29.
okay, that was my recollection. So that
Yeah.
says Tuesday, but that should be Monday, the 29th. And so that leads up to Labor Day, which is when we used to. And if we move it back a week, it does make things a little bit easier. When we are waiting for the lit numbers to come in, the later we wait, the more information we're going to have. And we should have that certainly by that time, but.
Thursday, September 6th, that's Thursday or Tuesday?
I don't know. Is that a Tuesday? Okay. I think our numbers are correct and maybe the days of the week are not, because we did reserve the room for that, but we'll check that. Is the 6th or the 8th, either one of those making a difference? We will report on that next month.
okay. All right, well, we'll go with those dates as proposed. Do we need to pass anything official on that or? Okay. All right. Then we've got approval of auditor process within series transfers.
And this is just something when we have things within the same series, like if you're going to go from office supplies to printed forms, those are both supplies. Or if you're within the one series, the personal services from overtime to part-time. Those, and I've got up here, there's an email that I received from State Board of Accounts. And what they recommend is that the council give us the authority, the auditor's office, the authority to make those transfers. We've always done it. But what they have recommended for us is every year that the council tell us that that is okay for us to handle those transfers without going to a council meeting.
Okay. So do we need a motion to
It would be nice.
have that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion accordingly?
Oh, I'll make a motion to allow the auditor's office to make transfers between budget classifications within the department. Within the same
Within the
classification.
same series? Same classification, okay. Okay, I've got a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilman Richard to allow the auditor's office to complete the transfers within the same classification as needed between our meetings. So we don't have to have specific action on those. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. We have unfinished business. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is all part, okay, so we've got two different resolutions for the county assessor's certification. for the level 3. Doug, did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so as I understand it, you've been given two forms of the same resolution. They'd both be 2021-39-CL. This is what we talked about a little last month for the county assessor's salary. The statute requires that you set basically two levels. I'm just going to say a base level, and probably isn't as precise, but call it a level 3 bonus for the assessor. And the minimum is a 1,500. Well, I guess first of all, in the past couple of years, we haven't established this, but we really should have been doing. But anyway, the statute says that the level 3 bonus has to be at least $1,500. There's some statutory language that caused some confusion. It was a transition provision from 2016, which adds an extra $1,000. So the consequence has been, I think in the past couple of years, we've been giving what amounted to a level 3 bonus of $2,500. And I think that's what you sort of budgeted for at budget time. So your base level in both resolutions is the $76,149. And that's the same as I think what you have for the clerk, treasurer, and a coroner who is a physician. So those are all 76,149, and both forms of your resolution have that number. The difference in the resolutions is whether you want to sort of stick with the $2,500 you did in at budget time, or drop it down to the $1,500, which is what the statute requires. It's, you know, kind of $1,000 decision for this year. It's probably not that huge. As I understood the discussion, one of the things we wanted to make sure to do this housekeeping and at least have the discussion is that it's an election year next year. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody particularly cares. You just didn't want to have the impression that if you did drop down to the just $1,500 next year, that it wasn't something political. You're just doing housekeeping this time. So with either resolution, so when you make your motion, you probably want to clarify whether you're setting level 3 at 78,649 or 77,649. So we know which one you're doing, but that's sort of the background here.
Okay, does that make sense to council? If so, what's kind of the thought process? I mean, obviously we do have set in the budget for the higher amount. So do we want to stay at the state minimum, or do we want to stay with what we'd already budgeted, I guess is the question.
Barry, what are your thoughts since you work with them?
Stay with what we budgeted at 78,649.
Any other discussion? If so, do I have a motion according to that for further discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2021-39-CL in the amount of $2,500 difference.
So for the 78,649.
Yes.
Okay,
And I'll second.
okay. Got a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilman Richard to approve resolution number 2021-39-CL with the $2,500 provision for this level 3 or the level 3 certification to take it to the total of 78,649. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Okay, anything else, Bob, on that we need to take note of? Okay. Next up is our Commissioner FYI.
Good morning, everyone. We did get some good news, and the furniture for TCCO, which has been stuck on a cargo ship, as many things have been as well, is scheduled to arrive mid-January. So after we'll be working with our maintenance staff to get the health department and extension office moved over there. After we get them all settled, we'll be establishing a date for a community open house for that building. if anybody read Mr. Banger's article this morning, you will know that the READY grant is going to be announced today. So we're very, very excited as a region. We're cautiously optimistic on that $50 million grant. GLC is hosting a watch party for that. They're doing that. They're going to live stream the announcement of that at 4:00 today. We'll be over at Red 7. So council is invited to join us over there if you have the time. We're hoping it'll be a celebration and not something depressing. And then my final announcement is tomorrow is our department head lunch at 11:30 in this room. So we hope you will come and join us for that. Thank you very much. Happy holidays.
Tom, can I just ask one question? And I should have asked you this before the meeting, so maybe next month you can come prepared. I know the commissioners meeting was the annual meeting just a few weeks ago that you attended, correct?
The annual meeting.
The
Oh,
conference.
the conference. I'm
The
sorry.
conference.
Yes,
And
yes.
you were hoping to glean some information regarding our $38 million that we have. So I don't know if you have any information today, and I apologize for not asking you sooner. Maybe next month you could give us kind of a report
Sure.
on what's
Exactly.
going
exactly.
on.
And the READY grant's going to play into that too.
Uh-huh.
Because, with the READY grant, there has to be a dollar for dollar match local. Obviously the READY, the ARPA funds can only be used for certain things.
Right.
But that will likely be leveraged for the match for some of the READY projects as well. So they're all going to be intertwined. So here we go. Here we go. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Next meeting date is up there on the screen. Any public comment for us this morning? Good morning. If you could, please state your name.
Hi, I'm Shannon Stannis. Sure. I'll just keep you all waiting. Okay. I'll finish that out. I work for the Wabash River Enhancement Corporation, and since the council is a supporter and partner in our efforts, Paula Bennett asked that I give an annual update to the council on our updates from our watershed program. We do a lot of things at the Wabash River Enhancement Corporation, and I oversee our water quality program, or the watershed program. So hope I don't take too much of your time, but I have a lot of great news to tell you. So in 2021, we began a 2-year, $325,000 grant with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management through the federal EPA 319 program. You don't have to remember all that, but we got in a lot of big grant funds. A majority of these funds are for practices that reduce pollution to the Wabash River. So $227,000 of those funds were allocated to a cost share program for practices that improve water quality by reducing pollution on the land. So we allocated $187,000 to projects in 2021, and we'll have about $40,000 left for projects in 2022. Some of these projects include 2 rain barrels, a rain garden, a bioswale, 108 urban trees, an acre of urban native plantings, 1 stormwater retrofit, 1,700 acres of cover crops, and over 4,000 feet of grassed waterways. And that's an agricultural practice, if you're not familiar with that. So these practices resulted in a reduction of 28,000 pounds of nitrogen, 13,000 pounds of phosphorus, and 12,000 tons of sediment. That reduces that amount from entering the Wabash River annually. So that's a lot less pollution going to the river thanks to our efforts. Additionally, we hosted 14 volunteer work days to remove invasive species along the Wabash River. We also hosted Wabash River Days with your generous support as a socially distanced version of our annual celebration of the Wabash River. We had a very successful event, even with the modified version of it. We had over 70 people float down the Wabash River. Over 150 people attended guided hikes. Over 120 people attended Riverside charcoal drawing classes on the Riverside Promenade. That was really fun. And we hosted a watershed-wide scavenger hunt that received over 5,000 submissions. Really, really great festival. We additionally hosted a 6-stop green tour that demonstrates river-friendly practices to the community. We hosted 2 Wabash Sampling Blitz events to measure water quality throughout the watershed. And I will say, of note, 100% of our stream sites were sampled in our fall event. Normally, we get high, we get like 90% or so, but 100 is exciting. We also hosted a rain garden workshop and a cost share program workshop at the Native Plant Festival, and we helped facilitate that event for our community. We also hosted over 14 urban site visits to give site-specific guidance about river-friendly practices to the community, and countless agricultural ones. I've lost count. So we were pre-approved for another round of funding for this grant program for years 2023 through 2026, so a 3-year grant to come, to continue this cost share program and the education outreach programs. We will hear about final funding for this program at the, hopefully by the end of the year or the start of next year, but I have been assured that we'll get another grant. Some upcoming events that we have that I want to share dates for. February 15th, we're having a cover crop equipment field day that'll highlight equipment for both small, medium, and large farms. We also have the Spring Wabash Sampling Blitz on April 8th and 9th. On April 23rd, we will host Detrash the Wabash with our partners. April 30th is Spring E-Waste, which is we support, but is put on by the Tippecanoe Solid Waste Management District. And July 9th, 2022 is our standard second Saturday of the year for Wabash River Fest, and the event plans are still being set for that. The last part of my update is the Wabash River Enhancement Corporation owns 106 acres of natural area along the Wabash River. We have been working over the last 3 years to get this property in good ecological shape. We implemented a prescribed fire this year, and by the end of this year, we've removed over 90% of the invasive species on that 106 acres. It is directly adjacent to the Ross Biological Reserve and Ross Camp and Park. So removing that invasive seed source is really important to help keep the other habitats nearby healthy and improve the one that we have. So we're very excited. We've accomplished a lot this year, and we thank you for your support. And we look forward to another successful year engaging with our community to improve water quality in the Wabash River. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
And I have to fill this out if anyone has questions.
Any questions for Shannon?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning,
Good morning.
Pat.
Just a reminder, 11 o'clock this morning in this room, we're having our press conference. Media is invited, local law enforcement will be here. We'll be introducing to the public our new K9 Roger, a 1-year-old lab who is he's certified in detecting electronic digital equipment. And we will have the lady here who sponsored him. We received Roger at no cost through a grant. The training was free, Roger was free. Veterinary care and food is free, and a vehicle was provided. This is a major grant. We'll be the first prosecutor's office in the state of Indiana to have a canine digital detection dog assigned to our high-tech crime unit. I appreciate if you could come. You're invited. He's adorable, and he's also will be part therapy dog, and also he'll be used to outreach to go to local schools and community events to try to show the branch between science, technology, and how we use that in the criminal justice field. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is kind of off the cuff. I'm getting ready to retire and I just want to thank the council for all your support for the surveyor's office and the drainage board and all the drainage infrastructure that's gone into this county in the last 20 years. I want to let you know it's extremely important. I'm thankful for the camaraderie, you guys working together. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I didn't plan this, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the surveyor's office and the drainage board, and ask that you do so in the coming years. It's very important to have good drainage, and with that comes development. And your county is a shining example in the state of Indiana on how all of you work together, and I have been very proud to be a part of that. I want to thank you all for your support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any other public comment? If not, I'll take the last motion.